Chris Peltz, and you're watching Blind Grilling.
No. You can't say watching. What if they're blind people listening to the video?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'd hate to offend somebody. Okay, I'm Chris Peltz, and you're listening to Blind... Well, that's just stupid. What if they're deaf?
If they're deaf, they're not going to hear you anyway.
Great point. I'm Chris Peltz, and this is Blind Grilling. Today on Blind Grilling, we're going to do a really simple cook of some Smokehouse Burgers. And in doing so, we're going to address one of the biggest fears for the blind and visually impaired who want to go to the grill. So stay tuned, and it's going to be a tasty grilling session. We're going to start with just over about 1.5 pounds of burger. We had a package that was 3 pounds of burger, and I've got about half, maybe just a little over half on this plate, and I've got some of the blindsided rub. Again, we're going to keep this cook really simple, and we're going to show you how to make some juicy and just flavorful burgers, but you're not going to have to worry about the flare-ups and the flame. And we're going to do it on the big green egg. So what we're going to start with is we've got this hamburger meat kind of spread out on this plate. And I'm going to go ahead and pour some seasoning, this blindsided rub of seasoning on this burger. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and just kind of work it in to all this 1.5 pounds or so. We're going to be making about 4 burgers total. And so I just want to get that seasoning throughout the meat first of all. So we've got that seasoning kind of worked in. And then once we get them patted, we'll hit it again with a little bit of seasoning on each side before we put it on the big green egg. But let's go ahead and start to patty up these burgers. And so I've taken and I've divided it. I'm going to divide it into about 4 balls of meat. And just eyeballing it. All right, I'm feeling it. They feel about same. Maybe one's slightly larger than the other, but that's all right. So what we're going to take from this is we kind of make these balls with our hands of burger, 1 ball. And as you make these balls, then we're going to take and press our palms together with the meat in between to kind of flatten them out. And as they kind of spread out, use your fingers and kind of go around and make some, round them off as far as your patties. And while you're doing that, continue to press a little bit in the middle, with your palm. And what we'll do as we make these burgers, just kind of as even as possible, you don't want them really fat in the middle. And then, because what's going to happen is they're going to shrink a little bit. And a lot of times people have these burgers that are really fat in the middle and they look done and all around the edges are done. When they get to the middle, then, well, they're not completely done. So let's go ahead and finish pattying up these 4 patties. And we'll be back in just a minute to put a little seasoning on both sides. And then we'll talk about our setup on the big green egg. So I've got these patties here on this plate. I took my glove off the right hand so I can grab this bottle and just kind of shake a little bit of seasoning onto each of these patties. Turn them over and do the other side. And what we're going to do, like we said earlier, one of the biggest fears for the blind and visually impaired and why they are really careful about cooking and why they are afraid to grill oftentimes is because of the very nature, the very heart of grilling, and that is fire. And when you talk about fire, people think about the flame, they think about grease dripping and flare-ups, and you're reaching in to flip burgers, and you got these flames that are jumping up, not only kissing the meat of the burger itself, but singeing the hair off your arm and all this stuff. And so those who are blind and visually impaired have this fear about grilling. And so what I want to do is I want to walk you through a method that is referred to as a smokehouse burger. If you've been to some barbecue joints, some big name restaurants, they'll have these smokehouse burgers, and man, they taste amazing. They're juicy, they're big, they're thick, and you can do anything with them. You can top them in all kinds of ways. We'll do mushrooms and onions, Swiss cheese. You can do just lettuce, tomato, and onion, and whatever you want on your burger, you can do it that way. But what we're going to do on the Big Green Egg is, instead of real hot and fast direct grilling where you got the flames underneath and you're at 400, 500 degrees on that really hot grill with flames jumping up, we've got the plate setter in for an indirect cook. We've got the Flame Boss controlling the egg at 275 degrees. And we're going to go out there and we're going to set these burgers on that grate, and it's going to be an indirect slow smoke house burger. And when you make these for your friends, those who are sighted, they're going to wonder how in the world you got such a tasty, juicy burger and you couldn't see to do it. Because they're out there and they're fighting those flames and they're getting a little bit of char on the outside, a little bit of burn, and they're thinking, oh yeah, they're decent, they're okay. And here you're going to come in and you're going to serve them this delicious smokehouse burger, and they're going to want to know how they could make something so good. And that's it. So let's get ready to go out to the Big Green Egg and put these on the grill. So we've got the Big Green Egg set at 275 degrees. The Flame Boss is keeping it steady. This is the large egg, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take these burgers, mind where I'm at, we're going to set them. You get a little bit of a sizzle, but it's not terrible. And there's not going to be a flare up because we've got that plate setter setting underneath them. And then what I'm going to do with one of these burgers, I'm going to take a meat probe. Now, they're a little thick. They're not too bad. But I'm going to stick a meat probe right in the middle of that burger. And we're going to keep track until that burger reaches about 140 to 145 degrees. And we'll let a few of them go a little bit longer, but those will be a nice medium on those burgers, a little bit of pink, and we can let a few others go a little bit longer for those who want them a little bit more done. But slow smoking, these are going to absorb that smoke, and man, they're going to be good. So stay tuned, we'll let you know how long it takes. So folks, these burgers are done. So as you can tell, as I go in here and I pull these off, let's see in this pan, you can hear just how juicy they are. But for those who are sighted, who are watching, you can tell there's no flare-ups. I mean, it's good. We're really good. It's amazing, right? And these, when we bite into these things, man, they are going to be so juicy, so tender. So we're going to shut down the Big Green Egg. We're going to go inside. We're going to get our burgers ready, and we're going to eat good. We are inside, and just to recap, we've got our burgers sitting here, and look what we did again. We smoked these burgers at about 275 degrees in the Big Green Egg. It only took about 40 minutes. That's all we did. We did flip them after about 20 minutes, and we brought them up to internal temp of about 150, 155, because some folks like them a little bit more done than others. We've topped this one with some Swiss cheese, some sauteed onions, and mushrooms. Put a little bit of mayonnaise on my bun, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take a bite into this burger. Wow. That is juicy, it is smoky, and man, it is delicious. So folks, don't be intimidated by the flare-ups, by the flames. Break out that egg, do an indirect smokehouse burger. You're gonna absolutely love it. Remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.